Yo, guys, welcome back again today. Today we're going to be talking about the Dahomey Amazons, or the Dahomey Women Warrior, and also known as the Mino. The Mino women of the Fan people, or the Dahomey Amazons, named by the French, was an all-women army division of the Dahomey Kingdom. The Dahomey Kingdom existed from around 1625 to 1894. This all-woman army and kingdom lied in what is modern-day Benin. This kingdom, like most kingdoms, warred with the neighboring Yoruba kingdom, and this kingdom was called the Kingdom of Oyo. The stronger Oyo kingdom would raid, kill, and enslave many in the Dahomey Kingdom. With dwindling numbers and less men, the Dahomey Kingdom would look for other means to stay alive. An all-woman elephant hunting group would be established by the king in the 1600s. This was due to lack of men. The all-woman hunting group would eventually be reused and trained to be an all-woman army in which would help defend the kingdom. In years to come, the kingdom led by this woman army would defeat neighboring kingdoms, tribes, and European countries who tried testing their territory. These women warriors were fearless, trained to be precise, powerful, and tactical. This force would also eventually lead into participating in the slave trade or Atlantic slave trade that we know of today. Expanding the kingdom under various kings' rule, the kingdom became a regional power when it conquered the coastal Wida and Al-Ada kingdoms. These kingdoms and cities were major slave trading areas, and taking control of them would lead the kingdom to being part of the Atlantic slave trade. In 1852, the British would set up a naval blockade to stop the kingdom's expanse and power. The years are unclear when the Mino women were established. Most agree that it was sometime between King Wegbaja, who was the third king, in 1645 to 1685, while other historians attribute their creation to the early 1700s under another king. The Mino women were recruited from families and villages within the kingdom at a young age. Some of the warrior women were also acquired by conquering kingdoms or villages nearby. From 1708 to 1731, the Mino warriors were used as armed bodyguards sent to conquer neighboring kingdoms with guns, swords, and other tactical weapons. Some young women within the area would even apply to join the ranks to become a woman warrior. Becoming a Mino warrior had its expectations from the king. The woman could not at any point have a family life, and was also under the king's protection and was also viewed as the king's wives. They had to train intensely in hand-to-hand combat amongst each other, and discipline was encouraged on a constant basis. These women were pushed to the brink, being the king's army division of women, and pain, tolerance, and death was constantly tested. Survival skills and discipline were big factors in the woman's rank. Exercises including jumping over walls with thorny branches, and also 10-day expeditions to the jungle without equipment like machetes. The women did get special treatment that the men did not. The women were allowed to drink and smoke in the king's palace and reside there, while the men did not. There was also the opportunity to attain influence, command, positions, and prominent roles in the kingdom. Wealth was also alluring to the women warriors as well. In the 1800s, there were 6,000 or less Mino warriors who were riflewomen, archers, gunners, spies, and huntresses. This kingdom was always at war with its neighbors, and the women would fight in many slave raids to feed prisoners of different tribes to slave cities off the coast. During the same time, the French, British, and other European empires would have colonized and controlled most of West Africa and Africa in total. One of the last pieces was the Dahomey Kingdom. In the late 1800s, the French and the Dahomey Kingdom would have their first war. The 11th and last king, King Behanzin, would lead the kingdom into the Franco-Dahomey War. The first war was bloody, with Mino women warriors fighting the French with much skill, especially the hand-to-hand combat. The women and army would soon eventually lose the battle, being outmatched by guns. It was customary for the Mino women to return home with severed genitals and the heads of their opponents. This would lead to a second Franco-Dahomey War, in which the women warriors were assigned to target certain French soldiers. This war would last 7 weeks and was fought at a ruthless level. The French did not expect the fight they received, and after 23 separate battles, they would have to bring in the Foreign Legion armed with machine guns. Soon after, the kingdom would become a French protectorate, and some oral traditions say that some surviving Mino women swore to serve and protect kings after the kingdom fell. They would do this by acting as a king's wife, but in secret, they would be deadly warriors ready to protect the future kings at any cost. The last Mino woman to have claimed to serve was a woman by the name of Nawi. She was said to be over 100 years old and died in 1979. These women were also pulled for inspiration from the modern-day movie Black Panther. The Dora Milaje bodyguards and women warriors of Wakanda were inspired from these women warriors. These women warriors also were very ruthless and had much discipline, and they attempted to cut the throats of their enemies and take their teeth and sink enemy boats, especially French boats. These women also engaged in war tacticians and guerrilla warfare, so there was a mix of guerrilla warfare when needed and also tactical strategic warfare. So you guys, today we learned about the Mino women warriors. Please like and subscribe, turn on your bell notifications so you get all my videos. Add me on all social medias, which is African Network, which is Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, Facebook. Each one teach one. Always love each other, always learn from each other, and always accept history, whether good or bad. Peace. One love.